Hey guys, this is Dr. Keough. Today I want to talk to you about crawling and how important that is in our babies. So being a chiropractor, being a pediatric chiropractor, we see a lot of babies and they're brought in by their parents for a variety of reasons. But one of the common themes that we hear from our parents is my baby hates tummy time. Or I put my baby on their tummy and then in a matter of 10 seconds they're screaming. So that's not normal. Babies shouldn't hate tummy time. When they're really young, you put the baby on their tummy and, after a matter of time, they're starting to get fatigued and then they're going to get fussy. That's normal. But when your baby's older and you're putting them right on their tummy and they immediately hate it, that's not normal. So definitely something to keep an eye out on and know that that's a red flag and would warrant an assessment by a pediatric chiropractor, because there could be something structurally wrong with the baby that's making them uncomfortable to be on their belly. So that's one of the things that we see. That's a really common theme with what we see in our babies. So let me explain crawling. So crawling is a really important milestone that happens somewhere between 8 and 10 months of age. And it's really the baby's first opportunity to start exploring their environment and learning how to get from one place to the next. I cannot begin to tell you how much neurology is happening when a baby starts to crawl, or when a baby is in the preliminary stages of crawling. So when they roll onto their belly, tummy time. When they start to push up, which is the next, they start to push up, they start to raise their head, then eventually they start to rock back and forth or side to side, and now they eventually start to do the cross crawl pattern and start to learn how to crawl. Tons of neurology is happening in that little baby's nervous system, which is going to set the tone for them hitting their milestones, their other milestones, and the proper development throughout life. So some of the things that crawling is doing for the baby is, like I just said, strengthening their shoulders, their neck, their back, their core. So these are really, really important things for our physical being. Really important to have that strength there. The next is strengthening the hands. So as they're placing their hands on the floor, they're actually developing that arch in their hand. They're developing their hand. The next is the tiny muscles in the hand. So those tiny little intricate muscles that are inside the hand that are actually going to help with fine motor skills later. So when the baby gets into school. So school-age children need to learn how to write. They need to learn how to draw. They need to learn how to zip up their coat, to clasp buttons, tie their shoes. So all those things are really important to establish when they're really young so they can be functioning properly as a school-age child. And promoting the bilateral coordination of the body. So basically where the right side of the body and the left side of the body are starting to work together. So that's that cross crawl pattern that actually helps both sides of the hemisphere, the right and left side of the brain hemispheres, to start to communicate together as well. And then developing that visual motor system, so the visual motor integration system, where you are scanning your environment with your eyes and you know your body knows where you are in relation to what you're seeing. So those are really, really important, and those are all established when your baby gets ample tummy time and then eventually gets into that crawling period. So I know you may know somebody that, or a friend or family or someone who their baby has skipped the crawling stage altogether, or perhaps the baby looks like they're going to skip crawling altogether. So now that you know and you're educated on that, make sure that you make them aware of the importance of crawling. We have parents that come in and they tell us all the time, my baby skipped crawling, and it's like a proud thing. It's like, oh, my baby didn't need to crawl, they went straight to walking. But that's not a good thing. It's actually very important that your baby crawls. It's kind of like that old saying, you got to crawl before you walk. So it's the same way in our baby. So very, very important that your baby crawls. So make sure that people are educated on why it's important for crawling to take place before we start to learn how to walk. So in other videos, I'll talk about what are some things you can do to get your baby to crawl. But for right now, we're going to leave it at that. So if you have further questions or anything that you wanted to ask, please be sure to ask those on the Keough Chiropractic Facebook page using hashtag AskDrK. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later.